It's our 200th episode, next on Conversations. Hi, and welcome to the special edition of Conversations. We're celebrating our 200th show, and what better way than with everyone who has hosted this program from the last 10 years. I have with me Michelle Clark, Ayesha Ramos, and Mary Hibbs. Welcome, everyone.
Hey,
Thank you.
It's great to be here.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to see you guys. In those 200 shows, we've had 2,281 guests and 410 different topics. Mary, you've hosted 54 shows and appeared 3 additional times. That's 57 times. Amazing.
It was fun.
Michelle, you've had 45 times hosting, 3 additional appearances. Yes, and I took over right after you.
That's right.
Great.
We even overlapped a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
That was fun.
Yeah, we had a good time.
You ready to come back to the show?
Sure.
And Ayesha, you've hosted 5 times, making 11 shows that you've been involved in.
And it was definitely a new experience for me, but I've had a blast learning.
Oh, well, it's been great to have you on the show as well. And I've hosted 96 shows with additional appearances totaling 101. Well, our first host was Mary Hibbs, and here's a very, very quick look at some of those 200 shows.
Welcome to the Arlington Independent School District's new cable show, Conversations. Could you draw for us a picture?
Today with me, not too long ago, welcome to Conversations, the ultimate goal.
Myth or reality?
I'm Mary Hibbs, so important. With me now, today we have the opportunity to visit with some of the kids for several years. Thank our children for those. Is there a space available?
The first woman to have received. Tell me a little bit about thank you so much.
Did you hear about Let's Go Get 'Em? Stay with us. Sit back and relax. We are now here, struggles day to day, instigating. The show was produced. Come join us to step with it. The teachers coming in, joining conversation. Where do you tell us a little? How would you discussing way behind us? Join us again. 245. Pleasure to meet you. The makeup of the book, Conversations.
I'm Michelle Clark,
Have a great day.
who many of you join us again next time for more Conversations. In the meantime, it was something fun, a very special guest. A little later in the show, Gadgets and Contraptions stands for Arlington. Final thoughts to open the doors. I hope you've learned a lot. We have fantastic, we were on hand, very special.
And I'm Jeanne Michelle, Wacky Science. I'm Jeanne Michelle. Martin High School's teacher began to get involved.
And I'm very excited about Michelle Clark, Communication Specialist. We take you now live.
They're sharing with our children.
I hope you'll all take care and join us again next time for more Conversations.
Welcome to Conversations.
For taking time. I hope you've learned a lot today.
Thanks for watching To Kiss a Pig, next on Conversations. Thank you for watching.
We're certainly proud.
Tell us about for supporting. Thanks for watching Conversations.
And that's all the great things.
Hi, I'm Mary Hibbs, and welcome to Conversations.
I'm Jeanne Michelle. Welcome to Conversations.
I'm Michelle Clark, and today we're celebrating our 100th show. Coming up next here on Conversations.
My show.
Take care, and that you'll join us again next time for more Conversations. So much. Enjoy, spread the word. That wraps it up.
Thank you, and I hope to see you as we take It's All right here on Conversation. Right here, next, to find all begin, and right here, first performance on Conversations for the showing of basketball game. And we're going to tops and cow here on Conversations. Football coaches. Go Cougars! Great activity coming up next. Our very own world record. Lots in store.
I'm Ayesha Ramos.
Conversations with women's basketball, NBA, and enjoy. Dallas Cowboys next here on Conversation.
Here on Conversations. Set Spike, and we have lots.
Today, Super Bowl, Keep Our City, the 2011 theme show. And this, I'm your host, and we're going to hear Matthew McConaughey next, coming up here on Conversations about their recent high school football. We're talking transportation, preseason basketball glasses, former dedication today. Swim, of course, 50 years, recently, and more on Conversations. Next on Conversations. Next, here on Conversations.
We finally got your hair to stay.
Wow, that was a trip down memory lane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
I know. And a little embarrassed.
A little. The hair.
The hair is a problem.
My hair,
For me.
I looked like one time like it's going to take off.
Yeah.
You know? And I wish I could figure out what hairspray I could manage those big bangs with.
Right.
Just, yes.
I wonder how many shades of blonde and brown and red we've all consumed amongst ourselves. It was a hodgepodge. It was quite interesting.
It was.
And not to mention the clothing.
Right. Right. There were some clothing problems.
Styles go.
Yes.
We try to stay abreast of
Fashion, that's right.
Well, it was a trip down memory lane. And one of the things I noticed, Mary, when you started, you didn't have a permanent studio.
No, not at all. In fact, there are some quite interesting backgrounds that we utilized at that time. And we worked in the cable company's studio for at least half a dozen or so of the episodes. And then we went out on the road, and that was really quite fun. Well, and actually, the second show that we aired was the two of us together when we were doing a staff development, Boys Town.
When we were doing Boys Town,
yeah.
Yes, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, that was back in 2002, so dated by the clothes, of course.
It looks fun.
The clothes,
It's
let's
looking
talk about
good.
the hair for a second. I don't think I could get that wing going on there if I tried. Well, Michelle, when did you first make your first appearance on the show?
Let's see, that was back in 2004, and I think, and Spence, you may have to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I just kind of filled in kind of at the last minute on something that Spence was working on, and he just needed somebody to introduce some teacher recognition information, and so he came by my office and filmed just a quick little Q&A kind of deal, and I hosted a couple of other ones before eventually coming in and starting to do the show on a regular basis.
When you were actually in the communications department at the time.
Yes,
Okay.
so it was a nice fit. It was really good. We were lucky enough to be kind of in the loop. People were sending us story ideas and really wanting to publicize what was going on their campuses and what was going on with their students and volunteers and all those different elements. So it was a nice fit to be able to plug those into the show.
I want to thank you in advance because you'll be stepping in to Conversations.
Yes.
And the book that will be presented?
It's called I Saw Mommy Kicking Santa Claus. So it's a family survival guide for the holidays. So that should be pretty interesting.
Good, so stay tuned. It'll be a good one.
And I remember doing that interview and being so nervous. It was the first time I'd ever hosted the show. I had to read the book and get familiar with it, and I didn't want to embarrass myself or make a fool out of myself with this woman who'd written this really funny, entertaining book about Christmas, and it all worked out, and she was lovely and gracious, and Spence and Mackenzie were fantastic, and everything just came off really smoothly. So
Well,
it
were
was a
you
nice
hosting
start.
the episode, or was Mary?
I think I was
I think
turning
in
it
that one you
over.
were
I think we
hosting
knew
Mary.
that Spence was looking for younger talent.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, so he says, but yes, I
think
do remember.
Mary got too busy.
It was a lot of fun, and in all of those episodes, and it sounds as though we've got something all the same story somewhat in the fact that that first approach from Spence. I'm going to go off script a little bit and say that I don't know if we all ever knew exactly what we were walking into, but the opportunity to step in and to represent the district was a piece of my time in the district that I will never forget, and the great people that we got to meet and time we spent on campus and off campus was unlike anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a good time. Well, and I did. I got the call to host the show, the 69th one, November 2005. And after that, I'd do one or two, and here and there, bits and pieces. And I kind of wondered, I wonder if we'll ever get to do this again. And then when you left the district in 2008, I took over. And so here's a few of those moments. At the North Central Texas Association of School Personnel Job Fair at the Arlington Convention Center. As you can see, Arlington's a great place to work. Back to you, Michelle.
Thanks, Jeannie. Arlington ISD is a great place to work.
Well, a dirty but sweet Jeanne Michelle. Back to you, Michelle.
Thanks, Jeannie. I thought the shower cap and goggles might have been cheating just a little bit, but I'm just glad it wasn't me with pie in the face.
I'd like to thank Stephanie McVeigh and Moore Elementary for the use of their new track. Today on Conversations, we talk with all 6 high school football coaches, and I stopped by Spirit Threads to pick up my spirit wear. I've got the Seguin High School PJ pants, the Lamar Viking t-shirt, my Arlington Colts jacket, my Bowie Vols High School car wear, my Martin helmet, and my Sam Houston visor. Scrimmages begin in late January and games start in February at the new softball complex. Right where? I was safe. I was safe. Bergen Elementary tour of your facility.
You're welcome, and thanks for coming. We really enjoyed it.
Well, it was fabulous. And please come adopt a pet. Thank you for watching Conversations. Oh, were you on one of those pet shows, Mary?
Well, yes, and I still, just last week, was talking to my family about this Great Dane that I met in, what was that, nearly 10 years ago, Kaiser. big, beautiful dog. Would have taken him home. I think I took my family to visit the week after we did the show. And they're great guests because they never surprise you with much of anything.
Familiar with their personality?
Yeah, we have a, where they can take the animals and let them run loose and kind of get a feel of their personality. Hopefully within the next couple years we will have a either new shelter or a remodeled shelter that will have what we call meet and greet rooms, where they'll actually be able to go into a room that's set up similar to a room in your house, where it's comfortable for the people and for the animal. There's no distractions or anything, where they can get a really good feel for the animal's personality.
Those other clips, Jeannie, it just made me think that Spence can convince us to do anything in heels.
It's true.
Anything for the show.
It's true.
And you know, he never takes into account the weather,
Right.
you know, as far as temperature or wind factor. And I was looking back that one where I'm on the bleachers with all the different paraphernalia on from all the schools. It was like 104. And he's got me in PJ sweatpants.
Right. And smiling and makeup and all done up.
And I think that was one of the shows where we shot the whole thing, and then he goes, "Oh, you're not going to believe this." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I forgot to record."
No.
Yeah. Still love you for it, Spence. Well, Ayesha, it's your turn. Yes, which brings us to our fourth host, Ayesha Ramos. And Ayesha, we have 3 clips of you on camera, and the first one is from your first time on Conversations. Let's take a look at it. So you know about AISD-TV?
I do, and I know exactly how to go and look up our stuff. But also because I have a step team at our school, a dance team, and so I'll go and pull up the videos and show them that Martin Luther King step off and any other videos that come up there that have to do with step shows. I do have one question though. I've got my jersey. I've been practicing my cheers. Why wasn't I invited to that game? What do you think, Jeannie?
I wasn't invited either. What's up with that?
Too bad. This is Ayesha Ramos from Crouch Elementary.
Thanks, Ayesha. That did look like a lot of fun.
And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again for Conversations. I'm Ayesha Ramos. That interview was when I won the Aware Award back in 2007, 2008, and it was so nice looking back at my 2nd grade classroom. I just miss it. It was so fun having. But when he came to my school to interview, I just had no idea what to expect. And I told him when we started, I said, "You better be a miracle worker because you're going to have plenty to work with here, plenty to cut and rewind and redo." But it was a lot of fun. He made me so comfortable, and he just threw the questions out. And, you know, I was just in my element with talking about teaching. You know, we can go on and on. So it made me comfortable. And then when he called me back, I thought, "You must be nuts. You want me to come back in front of this camera and interview and read a prompter?" But I tried it, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
You've done something that any of us have, to my knowledge. You've hosted a show in English and Spanish.
I did, and that was another learning experience, definitely. As you know, there are many dialects in Spanish and many different opinions on what might be correct and incorrect. Of course, the way you're brought up, too, is going to change the accent and the way you talk. But Cavazos and I both got a little prep work done, and then we had the district translator out here to make sure we were using our proper Spanish. So it was definitely very challenging to interview him, but it was so informing in both languages.
What a
in
great
fact,
project.
yes. And for him to now be our interim superintendent, you know, I just want to go back to that video and watch it, and just I'm so enthralled by everything that he has to say.
Remember me when.
Well, ladies, what's your reaction to this sentence? Because I know we've all heard it from our director Spence when shooting on location. Oh, how about if you climb inside the box, walk through this, stand inside this freezer for a minute, or how about, hey, why don't you sit in a wheelchair while we do the interview?
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that brings back a few memories.
Does it? Let's take a look at those memories.
Oh, no.
Thank you. Hey, we'll be back. Thank you.
And thanks for joining us on Conversations. But before we go, Beverly, I do have to ask. You know, it's been a really long week, and the setting is just so comfortable. You know what? I've been eyeing that bed for a while. You mind? This classroom's going to be empty, isn't it? For the rest of the day? Do you mind? No. Okay. I am white. All right. I haven't done this in
There we go. Let's go ahead. Oh, welcome to our classroom setting.
Oh, in fine lingerie.
Fine lingerie, beautiful lingerie.
That has never looked more appealing. Okay, but the bedpan can stay away.
You can stay the bedpan?
Okay. And we'll be back.
You want to put the hospital again?
Front or back?
Oh, the opening goes in the back.
Oh, I'm so We'll see ya.
Thank you for joining us today for Conversations. I hope you enjoyed our whirlwind tour of the district and that you picked up a few interesting tidbits about what we have to offer, not only our principals, but our students and our families. I hope you'll take care and that
And you know, if I'm not mistaken, that actually felt pretty good because I think we were filming that right before school started, so early to mid-August. And I think we'd been riding on buses and taking a tour of the district, and so to end in the freezer is not as bad as it looks.
Well, not in this heat. You know, people think our job's pretty easy, but it's not as easy as it looks.
No.
I mean, wouldn't you agree?
No, not at all.
And we've all had our moments, so...
Oh, great.
Yeah,
That's not a good lead-in.
Let's
Here
watch.
it comes. Gadgets and contraptions. That blah, 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 that I forgot what I was going to say.
And the book that we discussed. I know, I was like, what am I saying next?
Earlier when this semester. I really love doing these. They're so funny because they don't make any sense when we're doing them here, but then when you put it all together,
I'm Jeanne Michelle. Oh, welcome back to Conversations. Sorry. Okay. Hi. Hello.
Between the International Baccalaureate or the IB program, and Mackenzie's making me laugh. I shouldn't have done that.
Hello, I'm Jeanne Michelle, and you've been watching Conversations.
Hold on, Spence. Okay, I can't get composure.
The appointed superintendent will watch as an Arlington High School journalism teacher is presented with the Hummer Hero Award. We'll talk recycling. And Jeanne Michelle gets a pie in the face. I almost forgot. Sorry, Jeannie.
Conversations? I don't like that at all. Keep rolling. I'm proud to announce.
We thank you. We thank you. To thank the City of Chambers. I don't think so.
Mr. Raymond, can you tell me how many years you've been doing this How to Run Enrichment?
That part I can't help.
Good. It's Ayesha Ramos. Remember my name.
A jump rope exhibition.
From Crouch Elementary, Ramos. From our
Pep rally, homecoming games. I don't know what I'm just saying.
Here on Conversations.
I think that's all.
Yay. That's good. Oh my goodness. We didn't approve all those clips, okay?
Right. You know, I wish we had some way of getting Spence back.
I know, I thought he destroyed all those.
He's never around when you need him.
We'll have to think of something after the show. Well, does anyone have any idea what Spence's favorite show might be?
I know.
And?
I think, I really do know, it's Conversations show number 105, which was the celebration of the grand opening of the Star Wars exhibit at the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. And I was there with Spence, and it was pretty fabulous. Your favorite part of this exhibit, or what do you think is the number one thing they can take away from visiting it?
Right when you come in, there's the land speed there, which Obi-Wan Kenobi and I and Luke Skywalker drove into the streets of Mos Eisley, wretched hive of scum and villainy. You see, I'm now old enough to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, aren't I? Yes. And what was lovely is, in the movie, it hovers. It goes along like that. It's hovering about, I don't know, that far off the ground. Maybe I don't want to spoil the surprise of coming to see how we actually did it, but it wasn't quite that magical.
What we love to do, you get on it and you put the seatbelt on, you press the start button, and then the children just love it. You turn the wheel all the way one direction, and you'll eventually start to spin, and you start going really fast. Some kids go faster than others. It depends on how quickly you get that wheel turned all the way in one direction. And it floats on a cushion of air, and kids just love it.
That was a really fun one. If you didn't recognize him, that was Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO in all of the Star Wars movies. And he is also a professor at Carnegie Mellon, I believe. He's a big proponent of math and science education. And so it was a really nice fit to get to speak with him about math and science education and how teachers and parents could integrate that into a visit to the museum and checking out that exhibit. So a lot of fun.
Did you walk away with that great accent?
You know, I tried to mimic that accent all day long, but the Mississippi just keeps coming out.
Oh, it's a great accent. Mary, what's your favorite show?
And I've got to go back a little bit, but I'd have to say, because he is one of my favorite friends in the AISD family, Jim Wren. And in one of our episodes, we were visiting with him about the telecommunications department. And out of nowhere, I just decided to ask him about an embarrassing moment in his life, something that had happened earlier. And I thought we'd just go ahead and play that again.
Oh, let's watch
it again.
Before I end today, I just wanted to ask you a question. I understand that you're not allowed to cut cable anymore in the district, and I just wondered if you could tell us a little bit about this this situation.
I can't imagine where that came from.
I couldn't tell you, but sources do tell me that something must have occurred, so I wondered if you could share that story.
It's one of those situations where you live it over and over and over again when you cut a wrong cable that belonged to someone else. Yes.
Just an exposed cable that was hanging out of a wall.
Right. It was an old cable, but still had some connection to it. So I know that Mr. Spence probably put you up to this.
Well, I'm sure that everyone else will understand. And
that's right, and it sets off alarms.
Well, that's great, and I'm glad you're still able to laugh about it today.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm embarrassed.
Oh. Poor Jim. Maybe that's why he's not speaking to me much after that.
No.
And I don't think this is going to help.
Well, it sounds like he ought not to be speaking to Spence.
Oh, I know. I think he pulls out the dirt on everybody, expected or unexpected.
And he puts us up to, saying it and bringing it up.
Yes. Ayesha, do you have a favorite?
I think my most memorable would have been this year, actually, when ROARC celebrated its 50-year anniversary. Oh. And we had some dignitaries out and even someone from the Mod ROARC family, and it was really neat to be there. Of course, ROARC is my home also, so to be able to interview my fellow teachers, my principal, and even some students, it was just so much pride behind the interview and the show.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Well, Mary, when you walked in today, I literally looked back and said, I don't think I've seen her since the 100th episode.
Well, probably not.
Yes. What have you been up to since that episode?
You know what? It's interesting how life presents itself, all types of opportunities. And you can see kind of the strand that leads one thing to another. And I really, truly believe that even in this, in the conversations, it opens up opportunities. And I can remember one of my episodes, I actually interviewed a gal that I do now work with. And it was at Camp Thurman, and it was with our outdoor education program, Cindy Hatchell. And I now work as one of the directors at Camp Thurman, and absolutely love it, and get to use a lot of what I gained in AISD in what I get to do today.
Mm-hmm. It's a remarkable camp. I think we've all had children attend.
Yes, definitely.
Not yet, but on the way.
On the way. Take care of you. Michelle, what are you up to?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, I left the district in 2008, and I took a position with GCG Marketing, which is a small healthcare marketing agency in Fort Worth. And then 2 years ago, I came back here to Arlington to the Trinity River Authority.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. And Ayesha?
Well, I'm still at ROARC. I'm starting my 10th year. I'm now an instructional facilitator there, and so I'm very involved in that community.
Well, I don't know if y'all heard my great news, but I'm no longer the principal at Farrell. I've now moved to Miller Elementary, another side of town there, so I'm excited to be the principal at Miller.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Another
you.
new
Good luck
chapter.
to you.
We're going to make it great.
That's good.
Yes.
That's great. Most unusual place.
Since I haven't done very many, I know mine was, he had me stand in front of a temporary, and we were at one school, but we were saying that we were at another school. So that was really
have you ever done a phantom interview? When you're
Yes.
interviewing, there's nobody there.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And you know, the beauty of what he can put together, and it looks like we were best friends for ages.
Oh, yeah.
right?
It's
I
amazing.
still have not put
Well,
eyes
like
on that
Jeanne and I had been throwing back to each other for a while, and we had never met.
Right, right. Well, I think you mentioned earlier climbing in and out of a box, and that was probably my most unusual on-location shoot, and that was before the 4th of July parade, and it must have been 2005 or 2006, and so Spence had me actually crawl inside the schoolhouse that's part of the float for AISD, and then, well, we closed by going inside the schoolhouse. That's how we did it, because I think my line was something like, I have some schoolwork that I need to do, and so I had to crawl in and pull the door closed, and it was 1,000 degrees in there, but
Oh, yes.
it was fun.
Well, that's everything for tonight. Thanks for joining us and putting the final touches on the AISD 4th of July parade float. Be sure to look for us in the Winner's Circle on Saturday, July 3rd. I'm Michelle Clark, and I've got some homework to do.
I still think you might win, though, Jeannie, out of having all the playing baseball and pie in the face. I think you win for most extravagant.
101 shows in, yes. Spence owes me the most, or do I owe him? I'm not sure.
What will the next 100 provide in entertainment?
Oh, there's no telling. I mean, just studio. When you started, there was no studio. Now there's a studio. And
no teleprompter.
I know.
And Spence will go down in time for having me recite and memorize. And so I'm surprised there weren't more cuts that he shared in that time. We wasted more film, and it was probably 8mm film back then. I'm not sure. Were we using 8-track tapes back then? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, by the time we do a 300th, we might need a bigger table. That's right. We'll have more.
That's right. Mm-hmm. All of us but Mary have all done the show pregnant.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That's how I took over for you, Michelle.
You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm. And then I was pregnant with Cooper, and yeah. No, I'm the only one that has had 2 names on the show.
Oh,
so
that's true. You win on that
that's
one.
True. You
yes.
definitely win.
Had 2 names. We did Jeanne Michelle, and then we moved to Jeanne Michelle Curtis. And then it was like, okay, this is way too complicated for people to say. So we just went with Jeanne Curtis. Yeah.
Very good. And so today you are
Jeanne Curtis.
Jeanne Curtis.
So let's recap. Jeannie's got most hairdos, most extravagant shows, weirdest places, and most names.
Yeah, she wins on
Good.
all fronts.
You win.
You get the next 100 episodes.
Oh,
hands down.
All yours.
That's all right if y'all come back for the 300th episode.
We'll have to come back so we can give Spence more material, more of those bloopers and cuts. And
he needs them. Well, for conversations,
I'm Mary Hibbs.
I'm Ayesha Ramos.
I'm Michelle Clark.
And I'm Jeanne Curtis.
Thanks
for watching.